Hello and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hey everyone, really glad you're here today.
We are so excited to have you here today. Go ahead and head into the chat. Let us know that you're here, where you're coming in from as you're joining us. We're thrilled to have you. And today we're going to be talking about automating the way you segment your list using AttractWell. Now, if you are not very familiar with what any of that means, don't worry. We're going to get into some definitions here today. And this is very specifically for you if you are a coach, a consultant, a service provider. We offer a lot of opportunities for you to expand and level up the way that you work in your business. So if you are a coach, you could sell ebooks with an online store and merch, or you could have a group program, but also a private practice where you work with clients one-on-one. You've got a lot of different ways to serve people. And today we're going to be talking about how you can use automations in AttractWell and the practice of list segmentation to make sure that you are providing the best possible communication pathways and experience for the people who either choose to hear from you or choose to work with you. So we're excited to get into that with you here today. Don't be shy, head over into the chat. It's always great to see who's here with us. We have an incredible, inspiring community of folks doing good work all over the world. And we're, again, thrilled for you to be a part of what we're doing. We are live here every Thursday at 2 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, except for when there is a major U.S. holiday on that particular Thursday. Now, today we do have a live review scheduled. So if you are here for your live review, go ahead and let us know in the Q&A that you're here, and we'll make sure that we hop on with you at the close of our training here today. So without further ado, we're going to pop out a video and get into these slides that I've prepared for you. We've got some training to get into. We can definitely get into some show and tell in the system to kind of demonstrate some of what we're talking about. And then, of course, as always, because this is a live work session, we have an opportunity to work together on whatever it is that you're working on this week that you might need a little bit of support with. So again, welcome. Today we're learning how to segment our list with AttractWell. So today, first, we have an exciting update that Greg is going to share with us. There is an add new pages feature, and excellent new way to browse and figure out what template you may choose to use when you're getting started with a new page in AttractWell. We'll talk about what list segmentation is and how you can go about automating that process in AttractWell. And then, of course, as always, live help and Q&A. That's what we're here for. It's a great opportunity to work together every single week. Now, if you're watching this in our Facebook group, or you're watching this as a replay on our YouTube channel, you can go to attractwell.com/office hours to learn more about getting started here on a call with us. They're totally free and an opportunity for you to, again, meet with community, ask questions, and get help. And if you'd like to schedule specific time on an upcoming Thursday, set aside some time to work on something together, we can do that. Go to attractwell.com/work review to reserve an upcoming Thursday slot for you. And if you would like for someone to do some of this work for you, we have a team that can help. Go to attractwell.com/concierge to learn more. All right, so before we get into our topic of list segmentation today, I'd like to toss it over to Greg, who can share with us an exciting new update that he's put into the system for those of you building pages in AttractWell.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Ashley. Let me share out my screen here. So yeah, today's update is great if you want to quickly browse amongst different page templates that we have available and see what's there and what falls in each category. The changes, there's also a new page template I'll be showing you as well. So if you click on pages in the website menu and then click on add, this is where all the changes were. So previously this pop-up was just a list of all the pages, I think alphabetized according to the template name, which sometimes worked, sometimes didn't. Sometimes it would put the page templates in the related ones far away from each other. So now you can browse by page type or theme. I'll touch on funnel here in a little bit. And then within each of these page types, for example, there's all the about pages are there, all the link and bio pages are there, sales pages, landing pages, confirmation pages, all kinds of different categories that you have now, so you can quickly see what is all in each of these categories. And we are planning on adding more to these categories. And if there's some other categories that you'd like to see, certainly reach out, let us know. We're interested in that right now. We're actively working on this sort of project. As well as under the themes tab, if there are, not all the page templates have a theme, which is a group of pages that look similar and are meant to go with each other. But for the ones that do, they're all here. So the gray, forest, like and so on. So there's these different categories or theme templates you can choose from, and then pick individual pages in each one of these. The no theme just lists all the rest of them. And then I believe I showed this a few weeks ago. This funnel tab still exists, and it allows you to click off to a resource bundle, which includes basically, pages and campaigns. In this case, everything's all connected together, so you can pull them all into your account at one time, and then edit them and make them yours. So hopefully this helps you find your pages more easily. The new page template is under the coming soon category here. There's an under construction page, and this is meant for if you're just getting started with a website and you want to quickly have something up there. There's just a basic little template that's here that will allow you to put that on there. You can personalize it. Obviously, you can click on here and then put in your picture or whatever you want to do with that. This is also handy if you're registering a new two-way texting number. It's got some legalese on here that the texting registrants like to see. So yeah, that page template is new as well. So those are the changes. Hopefully find them useful. If you have any other page templates or category page types or themes or any other ideas, we'd love to hear them. So but yeah, thanks. Back to you, Ashley.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I hope that you guys love that and the improved experience there in trying to navigate what you want your pages to look like. And we are certainly, like you said, excited to expand and improve on that based on what you share with us. So definitely keep those suggestions coming. So let's talk about list segmentation, today's topic. So let's get into just the basics of list segmentation, and then I'm going to get into some specific use cases and some of the two most common use case paths or journeys that I see with folks in AttractWell. There are, of course, as many as you can possibly dream up, because with AttractWell, we are not a one-size-fits-all solution. You really can customize how the platform works and, of course, behaves with your customers, your clients, your leads based on your design. And that's really what this is all about. And it begins with identifying who's who in your list. So essentially what list segmentation is what it sounds like. It is your list broken down into targeted segments. And those segments are typically going to be based on a couple of different things, such as whether or not that person is a lead or a client or customer, whether they've clicked on something specific, maybe in an email, maybe demographic information. Depending on your business, you're going to want to segment your list according to your goals, right? Your goals for communication, for conversion, and so on. So this is, again, not a one-size-fits-all thing. You may choose to segment your list based on demographics, such as location, depending on what it is that you offer. Or you may choose to just focus on who has opted in based on the type of lead magnet that they opted in for. Maybe that represents a particular interest that they've expressed, and then you want to make sure that you're communicating only with the people who have expressed interest in that specific or related topic. Again, just as an example. Now, when you are practicing list segmentation and you have these systems in place, you're allowing a path of customized communication to take place at scale. So whether you have 200 people who are interested in workshops about financial wellness, or you've got 20,000 people who are interested in the same, you're able to communicate in a way that really fits their needs specifically, right? So instead of just saying, these are my leads and these are my clients, we could say, these are my leads who are interested in this category or this other one, or the leads who have opted in for my blog and are also interested in this thing, right? So you're able to really dial down and figure that out. And when you do this, this can massively help to improve your click-through rates, your open rates on your emails, your conversions into new leads or sort of new stages of your pipeline, as well as conversions of sales. And it definitely can improve your client experience as well, which is when it's going to be one of the paths that I show you here with the automated segmentation. So let's talk about what this looks like in AttractWell. So list segmentation is something that just about any email platform or platform that allows you to manage how you send out emails is going to have its own sort of mechanisms for accomplishing this. So let's talk about how we get this done in AttractWell. In AttractWell, your list segments are going to be represented by tags on your contacts. And those tags on your contacts are going to be applied through a number of different means. And this is not a completely exhaustive list. I'm actually remembering right now that there's one that I left out. If you are coming over from another platform where you've managed your own database, your own database of contacts in the past, you can also apply these tags upon upload or import into your system. So that is one other certainly common way if you are moving to us from another place. But generally speaking, outside of that instance, contact tags are going to be applied at opt-in. So if someone, for example, wants to get a white paper from you, get access to a free video or whatever that might be, when they put in their name and their email, that contact then becomes tagged. And so this would be on pages or on landing pages. This also happens at the point of sale. So whether someone purchases something that is in a vault, they purchase something on a sales page, or they purchase something from your optional store in AttractWell, you do have the ability to tag a contact at that point of sale so that they are now someone who is tagged in your system, perhaps not just as a client or customer, but a client or customer of a particular product, or of course, of a particular interest related to the nature of that product. Tags can also be applied using automations when they take specific actions in your system or in response to your system. So on click, this is actually something that I teach pretty often where we talk about conditional response marketing. So if this, then that. So if someone, let's just say, opts in to get your free download, your PDF, but you want to be able to get them in front of a sales video, then you might offer a pre-recorded workshop. And on that next page, you have a link. So they've just opted in. They put their name and their email in to get their free thing. And on that next page, we like to call that an authority page. They are told, hey, by the way, there's this thing, you could take advantage of it. It's a workshop, it's down there. All you got to do is click the button. And when they click the button, instead of having to put their name and email in again, an automation is the link that they're clicking. And that's going to apply the next stages of the pipeline to them, all of the communication, sending them, redirecting them to the correct places, including applying new tags. This is also action-based. So tags can be applied via automations when, for instance, a new campaign is applied or the final message of a campaign or a specific message of a campaign is sent to a contact. If they complete a lesson or they complete an entire online class, lots of different options here in the system. So based on what the contact does in the system, not just clicks. Now, in terms of automating our list segmentation, there's a process that you're going to want to follow to figure out how you want to get this done and get it done well. This begins with defining the journey for that lead or client and establishing what the milestones are, right? These are the things, the events that happen in order for the entirety of that journey. And then we're going to create the communication assets. In this case, these are campaigns in AttractWell. And those are just messages that deliver automatically on your behalf for that journey. Then we can create and attach automations, which will do the work of changing out campaigns, applying new tags, removing old tags, etc. Now we are going to go through this with two primary sort of silos of examples here. Again, these are by no means exhaustive, but they begin with leads, right? So if we want to create a super segmented list and we want to have our leads not just be called leads in our system, here's what we can do. First, our journey that we're defining here is our leads opt in on our website, right? They put their name and their email in exchange for something. Then some conversion event is offered to them. Now in your business, your conversion event might be a consult, a one-on-one call of some kind where you determine whether or not that person is a fit to work with you. It may be that they are delivered a sales presentation. right? It may be that there is a sequence of emails that they need to receive that pitch a low-cost product, whatever that might be, right? So there's some conversion event that our lead is exposed to so that they might become a sale, right? And then, of course, if they do, then they are sold. So that is our journey from lead to customer or client. Now, once someone is a client, there are a couple of options here, and I'm going to show you, it's a little bit more complicated here just for the example that I'm providing here today. We're going to provide them with onboarding, right? They've gotten started with us. We want, even if they decided to purchase at 2 in the morning and we're not awake, we want them to be able to be welcomed and onboarded automatically. So we're going to do that. We want to deliver our program experience with some degree of automation. And then after they've completed their program with us, we would like for them to be exposed to the opportunity to move on to the next level, the next thing that they can purchase to work with us, right? Okay. So the next step is going to be create campaigns, right? So in order for us to create this, this fully automated experience for our segmented list, we need to know what we're going to say at what points. Now we've defined the milestones of the journeys, right? The two examples we've provided here. And now we need to actually create the things that communicate throughout that process. So the first is going to be an initial nurture campaign. This is for our leads. When somebody opts in on our website, we want them to be tagged as a lead, which we will do on our page, but then we're going to deliver our initial series of messages, and they're going to deliver whatever free thing you're giving away, right? So your lead magnet, it's going to offer that opportunity to convert. And in some cases, it might be a click where they're going to convert to a subsequent campaign, which we'll talk about shortly. And then, of course, our initial nurture campaign should always deliver value and not just pitch. So we're going to share some content here as well. Now, a sales campaign, this is a secondary campaign that's going to be applied only to your leads who have engaged with your conversion event, right? So they opt into the website, they give you their name and email in exchange for the free thing. They say yes to the conversion event. And now their tag changes and the types of messages they receive from you change as well, right? So that next series of messages they receive are your sales campaign. This is going to deliver the conversion event, right? So this could be a video. Again, it could just be a series of messages that sell a product. And of course, in any case, the sales campaign offers the sale. So the reason why this is important to point out here and to kind of define here where we're talking about segmentation is the whole purpose of segmentation is to automate experiences for people who interact with us, whether there's someone who comes into our world as a new lead or someone who comes in as a new client or customer. And so throughout this process, we are going to be segmenting automatically when, for instance, someone obviously first becomes our lead, but then when they take an action that then puts them into the second track, right, where they're now able to be sold. Now, the next thing that we want to look at here is our clients. So what does that look like? They would be tagged, of course, at the point of sale, and then they would begin receiving our onboarding campaign, which is the next thing that we need to create. That onboarding campaign is going to share any resources for what they've purchased and obviously spell out any onboarding steps that they may need to follow. It'll guide them through those resources and onboarding steps, maybe with daily emails, right? Depending on what that looks like for you. And then if you have a program, and this could look again different for your business, but let's just say this is a group program, or maybe it's a 3-week or 2-month or whatever program, then you're going to be delivering those communications on some degree on an automated basis. So we'll share our program content in this campaign, and we would have a tag that would be applied to this contact at this point that they are actively in this particular program. So they would be, of course, tagged with the name of the program. This campaign would invite engagement. It would offer a conversion event, perhaps at the end of the program, to upsell them to the next offer. And then if they do engage with that, then you're able to share those sales messages automatically using a sales campaign that would be applied as your list is segmented further, where someone has completed this program and they are now a lead for the next one. So we'll deliver that conversion event to the upsell and then offer the sale in this instance. Now, the final step in this process, we've defined the journey and we've created the means by which your system is going to communicate with your leads or clients on your behalf. Now we can attach the automations that tie everything together. All right. So, and I'll give you examples of each. And then of course, as we're done with the slides here, we can go and take a look at what this looks like in AttractWell as well. So our automations for our initial nurture campaign are going to be as follows. If a lead clicks on your offer for a conversion event, an automation that you will create is going to tag the contact, right? And that's going to tag them with that second stage of your pipeline. It's going to apply the sales campaign. It's going to remove that nurture campaign, and then it would redirect them to an appropriate page. So to spell this out in a more specific example, if you are offering a free PDF download on a landing page, they put in their name and email. They go to the next page. It says, hey, there's an email on the way to you. But by the way, if you like this, you are really going to want to check out this masterclass. Click the link below. Okay. That click the link below, that's going to be your automation that you set up in AttractWell, because you have a link that you can actually generate from the, or it's code that you put in the URL field of a link. And that is going to allow them to click that button and all of these things happen. They get a new tag, they get a new campaign, the old campaign is removed, and they are moved to the page that is appropriate. In this case, it would take them over to where they can watch the video for that workshop, right? Now, if the lead doesn't convert in this case, the automation is going to be attached to the final message of your initial nurture campaign that removes that tag and then adds them to your general mailing list tag. And this essentially just provides you with a way to keep in touch with that person. So if you're sending out emails on a weekly basis, for instance, as we all really ought to be with a mailing list, we're sending out that communication, but we don't want them receiving it when they're in their initial nurture sequence. So this allows them to then move into the bigger list at that point. Now we're going to go through the rest of this here. And Selena, I totally hear you. I'm going to be actually going over to the system and showing you exactly what these steps look like after we go through here. Now, the sales campaign is going to be our next step. So if they have opted in to get our free thing, then they are going to receive the sales campaign and be tagged as a lead for that next purchase, if and only if they have clicked that link in the email or on the page, right? That automation is going to trigger the change in that contact status, right? It's going to move them to that other segment of your list and adjust the communication accordingly. So in this case, for your sales campaign, you're going to create an automation that removes the contact from a sales campaign and attach it to the point of sale. So wherever you're selling something, you are going to attach your automation that removes that tag. So it's removing them from the segment of lead for that product when they purchase, right? So that's going to be attached wherever you're selling your thing. That's your sales page or your vault or your product in your online store. And we do have a feature in our vaults as well, where your sales campaign could be added to a vault as a pre-purchase campaign in your vault setup so that it stops delivering once somebody purchases. All right, now finally, let's get into clients and then we'll get into the system. So for your onboarding campaign, you're going to want to, on your point of sale, so when someone becomes a client with you, wherever you're taking money from them, so that could be on a vault, it could be on a page, you're going to set that up so that there is a tag attached to that client. So it could be new client onboarding phase, and that is your tag, right? And so you're going to want to have that attached to those clients when they purchase. And you can also attach an automation to this campaign that removes it when they actually join your program, right? So let's just say, for instance, you have a 6-week program. But you have maybe a few steps. People need to submit agreements, maybe fill out forms, things like that. They cannot get access to the program until they have completed your onboarding. So you can actually use your automations to modify those tags and of course the corresponding campaigns that communicate with them. And with those campaigns, you can attach them after the final message is sent. You can also attach those automations after a link is clicked or an action is taken. And then of course, if needed at any point. And again, these are tools for segmenting your list, these automations. You can also apply them manually if needed. For your program campaign, in this case, you would attach an automation here that removes them from the previous campaign, adds them to the vault, and changes their tag. And then, of course, you can use an automation to link your conversion event. So if you are using an upsell, if they are in a 6-week program with you and you want to sell them on your annual mastermind or something like that, then it's going to be set up very similarly to how you would set up a lead, right? Where if they click the automation link in their campaign, then they are delivered the sales messages. They are tagged as being a lead for your mastermind, etc. Now, the sales campaign for the upsell, if they do opt into this, you're going to create an automation that removes them from the sales campaign and attach that to that other point of sale. So in this case, your mastermind, you don't want them getting sales messages about the mastermind if they've opted in. So the automation would remove that tag and you would apply that to the sales page or the vault if you're using it, or a product in your online store, just depending on whatever it is that you're selling at that point. So let's go ahead and get into, because I know this is a lot of concept stuff that if you're not as familiar with our platform, might not be quite as easy to follow. So let's go take a look real quick here in the AttractWell platform, and I will show you. Let me see if I can, forgive me, I'm not on my usual screen here. Here we go. Okay, so all of this starts with deciding what the journey is. So let's just start with the one that we talked about for leads. So for leads, we want them to be able to opt in to a landing page on our site, and we want them to receive the free thing that we're giving away. And then we want to give them the opportunity to opt in to something else, right? So this is sort of a double opt-in funnel. If you're using webinar style videos, replays, etc., to use a sales video to sell something, then essentially you're going to want to first make sure that you've got your pages in place where you want to send somebody. But we're going to be using automations to accomplish the bulk of this. So let me go find a page, and that's going to be over here under website. Let me see if I can find like a landing page that I could use here as an example. Let me see. I have to remove some of these other things from my screen so I can see here. All right, so let me find a landing page template and show you guys what I mean. Here we go. Here's a landing page template. We're gonna view this. Here's our viewer. Excellent. So this is a landing page. Somebody arrives here, they want to get the free thing that you're offering, right? So they want this free thing. So they're going to go over here and say, yes, I want access. And they're going to put in their name and their email. Okay. Now, when that happens, if we go over to settings here, we get to modify what it looks like after somebody opts in, right? So this is what we show them, right? There's that pop-up that you saw. And then here is what happens next. So I'm actually going to show you what happens after they register. So here we're going to attach that initial nurture campaign, right? And our tag here would be whatever the one is that you would want to use for leads who opt into this particular thing. So let's just say, for instance, this is, how to get dinner on the table 5 nights a week in under 30 minutes a day. And I've got a PDF, I've got a recipe book, I've got a plan, I'm selling that here, right? So this tag is going to be for recipe book leads, is how I'm going to segment this. So now I know that these are people who have opted in to get my free thing, and I know what they're interested in because that's the name of this. So my tag is going to be recipe book leads. And this way I know if, for instance, I'm going to be sending out an email about a blog post that I wrote that actually happens to be about a recipe this week, these are going to be people who are especially interested in that thing, right? If I had another landing page like this that was offering something that had to do with workouts, maybe the people who wanted the workout stuff are going to be as interested in the recipes, but we definitely know that the recipe people are going to be interested in the recipes. Does that make sense? So this is our first step in segmentation, is applying a tag to our lead when they come into our system. We can, of course, get really specific about what we send them, and that's why we create a campaign for each of these instances. All right, so this is what this looks like. Now, if you're using that secondary opt-in, and I'm going to show you an authority page. And an authority page is a second step in your funnel where you have the opportunity to show somebody, an option that they can follow to get more from you. And this actually takes them from being just a lead to a more qualified lead than they were to begin with. So instead of just being a recipe book lead, this now becomes somebody who is a workshop lead. They're at a next level in your process. So in this case, we've got a video here. We're telling them, hey, the thing that you just asked for, it's on the way. And I'll actually show you the preview of this. So here's the thing that you asked for. It's on the way to you now, but hold on real quick, watch this video. And the video is basically saying, hey, look, I'm so excited for you. You've decided to take this step. I want you to know that right now you have the opportunity to take advantage of this other free thing of greater value that I'm giving away. All you have to do is click the button below, right? So here's the button and here's the button, right? Some of you guys may have even experienced something like this before, where after you opt in to get something, you haven't gotten the thing yet, but something even more valuable is placed in front of you. That's happening on an authority page. That's what this is. Now, what this serves to do is to further segment your list of leads. They go from someone who just got a recipe book to being someone who is even more interested, even more qualified to receive sales messages from you. Okay, so what that means is that here on this page, where we've got this button here that says I'm ready, this URL field is going to have an automation in it, right? And that automation is going to apply a new tag, send them a new campaign, remove the old campaign, and then send them over to the page where they're going to watch this workshop, right? And then from that workshop, they're going to get to go to the sales page. Right? Now let's go take a look in our system at automations so that you can see what all of this means. So if we go over here to contact settings and we can find automations, you can also type automations up here in the top field if you wish, but I'm going to go to automations right here. And so let's just say, for instance, I want to move somebody to, this is going to be a workshop lead. And I'm going to call this workshop lead because the workshop is the secondary thing that I'm offering. Basically, if somebody opts in to get my PDF, that recipe book, that's great. They're going to receive a bunch of emails from me. They're going to eventually get onto my main mailing list. They may or may not buy. They're on my list. It's cool, right? Long term, that's awesome. But if somebody goes from, I want that PDF, that book, to I want that 45-minute, hour and a half long, however long it is, in-depth training on solving this big, fat, ugly problem that you are really qualified to solve. Those are the people that I want to place in front of an opportunity to buy from me right now. Let me know if that makes sense. We want to make sure that we aren't just blindly pitching to people who are only lightly interested. The whole purpose of segmenting in this particular instance is so that you can take the people who indicate interest, to take a specific action that indicates their interest, and then we are able to be more effective by putting our sales messages, our stronger sales messages, in front of those people, right? So our keyword here is workshop lead. In our actions here, we're going to add the tag workshop lead. I'm going to add that action, but I want to remove, I personally, in this case, want to remove the recipe book one, or maybe you want to keep it, but if you wanted to remove it, I'm going to go to tag here, go to remove tag. And this one was recipe. No one's actually in here is recipe, so it's not pulling it up. So I could actually remove the recipe book lead, right? So I'll remove that one. I want to remove the first campaign, that lead campaign that they were on. So I'm going to go to remove. And here's our lead campaign. We'll pretend like that's the one. And then I want to add my sales campaign. Right? So go add or restart, and that's going to be sales campaign. There we go. And then finally, what I want to do is I want to send them to the page where, because these are people who said yes to the workshop, I'm going to send them to the workshop. That's going to be a page on my site that I'm going to call the replay page. And I'm going to send them there. So when I add this automation, that's totally done. This right here, I can copy this. And this is going to be code that I put into the URL field of a link. Okay. And I could also attach this to a campaign. So, or a lot of other places. These automations don't just go as links, but if you are going to use an automation on click, you just do want to make sure that you're sending them somewhere. In this case, we're sending them to that replay template. So I'm going to go show you what this looks like on that authority page. And you can see here, that link that we just created, in the places where I've put the buttons here, we would be pasting that right here, right? And so when somebody clicks that, and I'm not sure if this is going to behave with a preview here the way that I would want it to, but when they click here, it should take them, yeah, here we go. Yeah, this takes me to the page that I had told the automation to send it to. And so in the background, what's happening is that person's campaign is changing, their tag is changing so that they're in a new list segment, right? And then of course they're sent here. So now they're going to start receiving those sales messages. So obviously this can be a rather large and in-depth discussion depending on how you want to segment, the degree of automations that you want to be handling the segmentation for you. But what I just showed you is, I think, one of the most powerful and I think most popular ways of implementing an automated list segmentation strategy. And that is to go from my people sign up because they want to get something for free from me. And then if they are interested in this next thing, then I start sending them sales messages, right? And so now they are applied a tag that's going to correspond more directly to the people that I would pitch to, right? If I have something, or maybe another thing that you might consider is if somebody purchases something from you for $7, $10, $20 on your website, that person is infinitely more likely to buy something else from you. So they need to have a tag that's attached to that point of sale. So if you're using your store, you're selling ebooks, merch, things like that, then when they make that purchase, they're then tagged. And the next time you have a sale or a promotion, that's going to be, instead of sending out promotional sales pitching emails to your whole list, including people who really just wanted to get that PDF at the time and right, don't have that trust or interest, you're going to wind up getting, you know, the unsubscribes that you don't want. You're going to be able to only get in front of the people that are most appropriate to get that message that you want to send out. And that's the whole purpose of segmentation, is setting yourself up so that you know that if you go to filter for this tag, you're sending to the people who really are the right people for that message. All right, so I'm going to see if we have any questions here that I can answer. And I hope that kind of helps set that up a little bit more for you. And I totally understand, Selena. I think the utility of those slides there at the beginning, aside from keeping this call from going on for 2 hours today, is really, I think, an opportunity for you to like grab some screenshots, or maybe I can put a PDF version up with the replay. But that would be something really useful for you to have alongside you when you're designing your own. So I hope that helps. All right, let me get over here into the Q&A. I have Paige here for a live work review. And guys, if you have any questions about, you know, how you could see yourself segmenting your list, or if you have specific questions about that, let me know, put those into the Q&A. And we absolutely have space today to kind of talk through what that strategy could look like for you, and even kind of outline what that journey would look like. Maybe it would be quite different from what I've just demonstrated for you, but there's a way to get it done in AttractWell, especially with automations. So for now, though, I'm going to go ahead and bring Paige out to chat. And yeah, how can we help you today?
Hi, so my site is brand new, so just kind of looking for overall critiques on the basics. The main thing I need to get folks to is just a call. So not
Okay.
not trying to do too many aerobatics with things.
Right, right, right. Yeah, just keeping it simple and moving people to a call. I love it. That is easy enough. Let me pull up a version of your site and we can go take a look at that. Okay, I've got you pulled up. Robert says these are pretty powerful automations. I never knew other sites were doing those sort of automations with tags and email campaigns when going through a sales flow. Yeah, Robert, that is actually that is typically what's happening. And what's also typically happening is if they're not using AttractWell, they're probably using 7 different programs to accomplish all of those things. And it's very complicated and expensive to maintain, but you can do it all in one place with us. All right, so I love the purple cloud and how you're actually visually incorporating that. That looks good. Let me see. Awesome. Schedule a consult. You're popping up a download option. That's great. Got a privacy policy right there and it opens in a new tab. Fantastic. This is also great.
Colin
Very
helped
good.
me with that.
Oh, good, good, good. He's excellent there with that. So we've got our bookkeeping and payroll and then our training. Awesome. Okay. But you want, and you have placed this nice front and center right here. What you might consider doing if you really want to kind of drive home the get on a call is maybe swapping these 2 sections so that this one is up on the top. And then instead of focusing on the free consultation, think about maybe making this the more the bigger font, because this
Okay.
is what they really want. Like, you know, having a bookkeeper pays you back, right? Something
Mm-hmm.
compelling like that. And then the call to action would be schedule a free consultation. But I think that the selling point, because you do have to remember that people who are, and this is true for everyone who is offering free calls, you know how valuable it is because it's your time. But people are thinking about the value of their time
Right.
and weighing that before they decide. So that's where it's really important to kind of sell the benefit of the call itself and maybe even think about, and I know that the way that you have calls with folks is probably going to be pretty standardized, but if you could really focus on like what the benefits of the takeaways are going to be. So branding the call and saying, you know, this is our power hour or however you want to frame it and say, you're going to walk away with this and a that and the other, keep it in line with what you're more or less already doing, right? Because you probably give little pieces of advice, generally speaking. Or you kind of give them an idea of what a plan might look like, and then you offer, you know, your services as a way of executing that plan.
Mm-hmm.
So just redefine what it is and really have it, you know, kind of be selling like, well, why wouldn't you? Like, why wouldn't you do this? So that it doesn't read like work to the child / lizard part of their brain that just wants to not do work things, right?
Right.
So yeah, that would be my thinking, is just to modify the copy and actually take this beautiful purple cloud background, have that be up at the top, and have the bigger font that screams out to you on the page really speak just a little bit more closely to what they would want out of a call.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, let's see what else. I mean, I think that this is well done. I might put just a touch of padding at the bottom of this section, just to kind
Okay.
of match the space that's here. But you know, minimal, not really much to do. It's very clean.
I know
And
this is
this,
very boring. It's very texty, but
that's okay. I mean, you offer services that are completely in keeping with that. I think that there are some cases where I would be concerned. Like if I was going to a lawyer's website or a bookkeeper's website, I would be a little concerned if there wasn't like a fair amount of black and white text to read through personally.
okay.
So I think it's fine. You don't really have to. I mean, there are definitely places like what we were just talking about where you can really hit more on the compelling emotional triggers. But where we're actually getting into like, here's what it looks like to work with me, we're kind of outlining this in black and white. It doesn't really harm you to set it up this way. You can obviously improve upon this as you wish in the future, but I don't see this as being harmful. If you
Okay.
were selling coaching, I would not be giving you the same advice with this.
Okay.
Yeah. What you do is something that is very detailed in black and white. Here again, I would introduce just a touch more padding, just to give a little bit more kind of visual balance in both of these, just to give it a little bit more space at the top. Let's see. And here again, where you're offering a consultation, I might consider like whatever you decide to use for your copy on that the hero section of your homepage. I would maybe echo that wherever you have this, and maybe even have a that contrasting background, because we really want to kind of draw the eye. If our goal on any page, generally speaking, on your website, your conversion event is a call with you. So you're going to want to really make sure that you are visually drawing the eye to that on the page, even if the subject matter of the page is just the fine print of how, like, the scope of your work with somebody. Once they get down here, we want their eyes to really be satisfied with like looking at this pretty like bold thing at the bottom. And of course, trigger that instinct to want to click a button.
Okay. Can I repeat back part of that?
What's that?
So, can I repeat back part of what you said?
Yeah, go for it.
So did you kind of say when I rewrite that part to convert them to schedule a call, am I putting what they're getting out of it as a header, so to speak?
Yeah, so
Like what the problem is that I'm solving? Like basically so I'm brand new, like I haven't even done bookkeeping yet.
Okay, awesome.
I'm brand new. So I'm working with another coach to like get going. So
Okay.
basically my communication and my message is going to be around saving them time and saving them upwards of like 60 hours a year at least. So are you saying like the saving time thing would be better as the top part in bold?
Yeah, so I would think something like having a bookkeeper pays you back, right? Something like that, right? So, or along the lines of just something compelling, right? And that's what I've got off the top of my head, right? Like working with a bookkeeper pays you back. And then you say, schedule a call with me now, and you can learn how to save yourself 60 hours a year, how to never worry about insert fear here, and a game plan to have this, that, and the other thing in order in the next 30 days.
Okay.
Right. And so those would be sort of like the selling points. And then you would have that book a call. So it might be helpful potentially to do like a 2-column section, and maybe you've got all of the text on one side and then a sort of clear call to action with a button on the other. You could certainly fit it all into a space like this one. But especially on this homepage, I would make sure that you're putting that compelling information up top.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, just be thinking about like where you're talking about sort of what's in it for them. Like you just mentioned, like you can save them 60 hours a year. What are some other things that working with you does? And then you're just going to frame, here's what you get on the call. You're going to learn how. And essentially the answer to all of those things is hiring you. But they're going to actually learn that in the order of things that are actually really like top of mind and important to them.
Okay. That makes sense.
Awesome. Yeah, I love where you're going with this. It's nice and clean and simple, and that's great. One tiny other thing, your logo up here is fine. I like it. It's nice and simple. I would, in Canva, if that's where you created it or anywhere else, I would make sure that like you have a little bit more white space around it on the top and bottom, right?
Okay.
So just because it's almost touching the top of the browser here and the next section, and you want it to have just a little bit more white space than that. Yeah.
How many pixels are you talking about?
Oh gosh, that's hard to say. I'm not a graphic designer. I would just make it just a little bit smaller inside of the Canva file, the actual
Okay,
circle, right? Just kind of just shrink them down just a little bit, just a touch. I mean, because
okay,
you can kind of see how it looks just ever so slightly kind of squished in there. Because
right,
I mean, you see how on the left and right there's a lot of space, and on the top and bottom there's none. So just
right.
a little bit more on the top and bottom would go a long way. And obviously, it needs to be centered inside of the file that you're using either way.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, and you can use that same thing conveniently as your favicon on your website as well. So you don't have to have this little the AttractWell symbol there. Do you know how to do that?
Oh yes, I have one in there, and yeah, we just haven't brought the domain in yet, so that's why I think
Oh,
it's not
got you. Okay,
showing
yeah,
up.
that would be it. Awesome. All right. Well,
Okay.
congratulations on your work. You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for coming out. All right. Do we have any other questions or requests while we are still here and have some space today? If you have a goal for kind of moving your folks through a particular type of pipeline or experience, we could talk about the client side of this. And like I mentioned, this is just a touch complicated if it's new to you. But once you get into practice, you start to see the utility of it very quickly. If you've ever sent an email, like you're excited, maybe you're selling something and you decided to send an email to your entire list and got really bummed when a bunch of people unsubscribed, that's not the point at which you want to learn about this stuff. You want to know about it before you reach that end. So always be thinking about ways that you can further filter your people down to, especially in terms of leads, the most ready people, right? The people who have indicated the most interest, and using those automations on click. So those action-based automations are such an incredible way to get that done. Let me see. Did you say you would have a PDF we could follow for setting up this process? So I can create a PDF of the slides that I went through today, which does kind of walk you through what you need to do in what order, which is essentially first, I would, in just a word processor, outline these are the things that are going to happen and keep it really general, right? They're going to opt in for my free PDF. And then they're going to be offered my conversion event, right? And you need to know what that is, right? What is your conversion event if you're here on this call? Your conversion event is the thing that allows your person to buy something from you. So Paige, for instance, who was just on with us, is a bookkeeper. She's not just going to let anyone hire her. People need to get on a call with her. So her conversion event is a call. So that means that throughout her site, she's going to have book a call, book a call, book a call. That's our conversion event. Now, once somebody has engaged in that discovery call, they are now very well aware of the world of working with you. And the communications you send with them can be a lot more action targeted, selling them on something, right? So if you're doing discounted services or you've got something that you're pitching, the people who said yes to a call with you are going to be infinitely more likely to take action and want to receive information about buying from you than the folks who just decided they wanted that free little thing you were giving away, right? So know what your conversion event is, and then figure out where it sits in the process. And we're just talking about leads at this point. So they opt in to get your free thing, and then they're pitched the discovery call. And that whole campaign pitches that discovery call. Now, once you have the call, you may choose to apply your automation, change your tag out there, or if you're using an intake form before they can actually book a call with you, and this is something that we teach elsewhere on our channel, you can have them fill out a form, and that's a page in AttractWell. When people fill out forms on pages in AttractWell, it can apply their tag, or it can attach an automation that removes other tags and removes other campaigns and does all of that kind of stuff, right? So you have to make sure you know, how is your communication changing, right? And you've got the campaigns created for that purpose. And then you just got to make your automations, because all the automations are really going to be doing is whether they click on something or another thing is done sending or whatever, or they purchase something, they're going to be designated differently in your system and receive different communication, right? So if you have the communication pieces created and you know what those designations are going to be, then you can complete the process, right? Just putting it all together with your funnel. All right, Heidi says, I have so much work to do on my website. Awesome. Fantastic. Well, you guys, if you want a shortcut, attractwell.com/concierge, lots of pages in our system as well that you saw that Greg has put together, and there's more to come where you can have a starting point that you can jump off from. And of course, we're here every week live to help you guys get those things figured out, nail down your copy. Just as much as we can shove into an hour, guys, we'll do it. So if you have requests or questions, or if there's a particular thing that you want to work on and you'd like to kind of figure out how to do it start to finish, for the benefit of the community, we will do some slides at the beginning to kind of outline our workflow like we did here today, but then we can go over into the system and actually get this set up with you. The concierge service, in terms of lead time, I'm not sure what you mean by far out, Selena, but if you go to attractwell.com/concierge, there is a form there where you can request a quote and they can hop on a call with you. You know what? I'm not 100% sure on lead time, but we've got a pretty dynamic team. They do stay pretty busy, but their turnaround time is, all told, they work fast. I'll say that much. They impress me at their ability to turn around quickly, and they'll be able to disclose that to you with your quote. And thank you, Melissa, for that praise. Our customer service, including the folks who are providing those done for you services, are really, they're fantastic people. So I do trust that you're going to get an accurate lead time representation there, and you'll probably be even more pleased by something that happens in, at or less time than they quote. So feel free to reach out to them, and I think you'll be very happy that you did. But yeah, if you guys want to work together on a call like this one, if there's a specific thing that you'd like to address, these topics, we do try to determine them several weeks out in advance, but these are flexible. We can insert your idea. So just reach out. So we will be available to do that with you. These are really designed not just for me to talk at you for an hour, but for us to actually do stuff together. So, so definitely let us know. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. Welcome, Danielle. Glad that you'll be joining us sometime in the future. And we're here to help when you are ready to make those changes. And all you guys who are working on your website, we're here to help you level up. So I hope you guys have a warm and happy holiday if you celebrate. And we will be back here same time next week. Take care, everybody.